Hello, I've made a video for a while and I've noticed that I should probably do this. Surprisingly, I now have 13 subscribers on this MaterOfLight channel. So it seems like this would be a good place for me to deposit some of the good work that I do. I want to thank you for viewing, and I've kind of prepared this, so let's see how fast we can get it done so you can get the meat of the matter. It all started with this diagram that I guess people have become interested in. The impetus for this, I noticed, is the interest in the MaterOfLight YouTube channel. So specifically, this Frozen of Light Matter video has inspired me to further make another video. I've been working diligently on a much more defining Darkness Manuscript, which I intend to publish as soon as financially or fiscally possible. I believe this essential foundational source and fundamental subjects that are involved here are essential and must be further discussed. I've made many poster boards back in the early 1980s, and this is one of them. And it was from long ago when I was on the Smith Corona, electric typewriter, which has gone down the history, tubes. Where that ended up, who knows? But now the PowerPoints seem to be such a welcome event in my life. I'm thrilled to make them, and I'm working on a number of projects, and I hope that we can come to a good clarity here of what I've been speaking on and how I've designed this to function as a science of thought. And so, being that the 5 states of frozen light matter was an interest, let's go over it. We have solids, the tight bonding of atomic nuclei and atoms and that stick together tightly. They're bound. We have liquids that flow. They're viscous, and it depends on the temperature and also the pressure involved that allows us to have different states. So there's a big wide spectrum here. Of course, gases, we use that when we cook or heat our furnace, to get the house going. And it can be pretty smelly when you go to a dump, can't it? So there's a lot of aromatic things in the world. And then the plasmas, the free ions, the electrons zipping about, the fast-moving high-energy particles. Those would be definitely something that we need to look at. Now, I've also typed things so I don't have to remember so much, because it's easier to forget in life, isn't it? And here, I must point out on the bioplasma, it is a vibration remnant shadow as the extent of light's presence. It's a kind of a quantum jiggle, the bioplasma. And when we look at it, it's really the light of it all, isn't it? And wisdom comes after understanding is polished. And since I made this 40 odd more years ago, things have changed, and we've become more aware of our surroundings in the quantum world and whatnot. But however, there's the dichotomy of bright and dark concepts, and that perplexes us. And we're definitely having that issue with the dark matter and dark energy right now. Now, how does this all work? How does this all get connected? To understand our universe in the simplest of fundamentals, that they must be described clearly and agreed upon for sense all to be had. And for this science that I have imagined and developed, we must become familiar with the basics used before tackling higher problems and possible solutions. So I'm looking forward to bringing this to light so that we can have a better sense of what's the difference between dark and light and how it all works. And we've been given the James Webb telescope, just a wonderful object to study the universe with. And, all the links are in the description if you want to see the backgrounds. I'm not trying to plagiarize anybody here. I'm going to be introducing new ideas, hopefully to bring us, to where I play in thought. James Webb, again, currently has certainly thrown cosmology into a tizzy. I do not believe it's hard to understand the cosmic, structure if we see the simplicity of it in the realm of now. and not all these shenanigans of fantasy and side theories that kind of pollute the scientific thinking to where we can utilize the truth, because there's so much deception, and we want to move away from that. And I hope we can agree that light is the source of existence, because that's going to be a main thing in how we study light and the electromagnetic spectrum. And this electromagnetic spectrum is how we look and view light. And we can see here the different telescopes that they have that are examining light as we look out into the universe. Certainly there's the Fermi gamma ray telescopes. We have radio wave telescopes on the Earth to see that background radiation, 3 degrees Kelvin. And we look to this to make sense of the gravitational electromagnetic. Now, back in the day, like I say, back in the day, I made one of these electromagnetic, gravitational electromagnetic spectrum. And the reason I did this, if you notice, it goes from negative infinity to positive infinity. I don't shut the wavicle of the universe off. As we examine light, excuse me, distinctions have been drawn between various wavelengths, and the light we observe stretches out before us all. I constructed this diagram in my younger days, of course, before the internet took hold and I had that Smith Corona. But experimental waves is where the microwaves, see, they're experimental down there. That's where microwaves are playing out. We didn't have microwave ovens back then, for the households. So there was plenty of other further studies to continue on after this, and still today. So, but suffice to say that vibrations extend from the absolute beginning to the absolute end, no matter where the starting point or ending point, it's all kind of a simultaneous connection. What infinities, they have a hold on every point, and they have a hold on us. Infinity's edge. The in and out of the present is what I'm talking about, of each moment. And I hope to bring that further to clarification as time moves on, because I think this is really what we need to know to unhinge the block in front of us when it comes to understanding how the universe works. I do not claim to be an expert. No, I don't know if there's anybody as an expert. We're all rising amateurs now, aren't we? But the thing is that there's a common sense to existence. And I don't think that should be missed. Even little children can understand things. When I was back in high school and heard about the Big Bang for the first time, these things aren't hard to understand for the curious and inquisitive, especially the young. So I believe light takes precedence, though, over darkness. And it is our ongoing foundation, the quantum foundation of darkness. And I thank you for allowing me to share these things with you today. But how then is it all connected? This is light. How's it connected to the matter? Well, again, back then I made up two concepts, the burning light matter and the frozen light matter. And, reality is defined by, we see, the derived equation of E equals mc squared. And simply that's just, you could say that the burning light matter is equal to the frozen light matter as it parabolically emancipates. And that's really how it works. All this ordinary matter and then the dark energy that flows with the photons bouncing in and out. These are concepts that we need to have really clear for, all of us. The common man needs to know where we are in the universe. And I believe that our universe flows ahead in the blockchain into empty space, where real space includes all the instant frozen light matter. But the blockchain, the past is here, and it always will be in the entire expanse of it all. And this is where I get into more of the point separation theory for another time. But again, another diagram, since I'm sharing with you today. These things, we're back in the day, we were looking, where are these quarks? What is the matter that we're trying to find? We look to arrange things to benefit us. And now, with these qubits and the quantum computer and trying to make things at that lowest vibration, assist us. But then the temperatures that are involved at near absolute zero, it's just crazy, to make these things work. But anyway, don't forget that all the links and the typing that I have done here is all down in the description if you'd like to read it as well. But let me continue. As we've examined lights, distinctions have been drawn in the various wavelengths. I think I read that one, and I read that one. So here we're at atoms. Yeah, concave to parabolic collapse. And that's where we're looking. This is a parabolic collapse as we look down into the atom. It's not hyperbolic for the burning light matter, which propagates outward instead of collapsing inward. And that has a lot of meaning in the sense of gravity. These are the connections to gravity. And they say gravity is not a force, but you know, that was Einstein. However, gravity is the force of now. And I do wholeheartedly believe that with all the research that I've done. And the explaining that I do, that's one of my bases for understanding, is that now is the gravity of you know, the universe. It's one mass, one single inertia of it all that moves from one moment to the next. Of course, relative, and we have all these places to play, don't we? But we look to have this, and this matter that's forming and has been formed, and we come up with then today an excellent theory. And that is the standard model of particle physics. And, you know, I mean, you can't go down much farther once you make your measurements. You got your distances, you got your masses. You know, we've thrown them up on aluminum plates and hydrogen bubble chambers, wherever and how that we've discovered these things as they go on, you know, the accelerators. And we see how matter can disassemble. And so we know the basic building blocks that we can observe. But we're stumped because we can't observe those things that go down below it. And that's where I believe we live in a negative infinite reference revolution. Everywhere we place zero on the Cartesian coordinate system, that's not zero. That's negative infinity. We're using an imaginary structure, the lattice, the dimensions we break up in quantum theory, you know, string theory, whatever. Those are just lattice structures making another dimension. Actually, there's an infinite amount of dimensions. Each point is its own dimension. And I think they call that the 0th dimension. I'm not sure. But anyway, like I say, I'm an amateur. But yeah, the arrow of time always will move forward. You know, the substance that we seek below cannot be seen. And so I have another diagram. All the Einstein-Minkowski light cone apexes into a plane, transverse over to the Bertonian moment, and that is the hyperflow of it all, the instantaneous universe. I even have labeled it the Planck moment in honor of Max Ernst Ludwig Planck. Because these people that have come before us have really given us the tools to see how we can explain it and how it all works. And in common sense, you know, I sometimes think that because I haven't been polluted with so many upper level thoughts of conjecture that this is the way it is, that I, in a sense, am a free spirit, a free soul, to be able to express the belief and the visions that I've seen and how this universe fundamentally works. And I know that for our children, that this will come to benefit them long after I'm gone from this world. And I hope that we can get along in agreement here with things that are going and we're trying to get clarified. So total light, it flows across all time. I'm wondering if I got another diagram. Let me move on. And we do, the expanding light universe. And it's always there. Light has never disappeared. You know, they think that we're gonna, you know, we're cooling off the entropy of the universe. You know, when you get out to the edge of the universe, which we can only see half the universe. The other half is expanding on the other side. It's not two universes, it's the same universe. It's just half of the universe we'll never be able to see. In fact, that's the James Webb telescope right now showing us those larger galaxies. That might be the edge of the other edge that's expanding out. And so we need to rethink our dumbbell situations, so we can get a better sense of actually what's happening, and then how we can use it, because you can't use it if it's not the truth. The truth is you're able to utilize the truth, but without the truth, there's no hope to have anything that's consequential or real. So what we see is what we get. And I believe that we live in a quantum foundation of absence. I think that might be the next one. Quantum foundation of absence. And this is all written down here before. You can read. Since I'm an amateur here, but I thank you for my attempt to be as expert as I can be. So I believe the foundation of absence is how our universe simply works. I label dead space as existing outside light's ignition or eternal edge presence. This aligns with the characteristics in which we observe, or should I say, which we cannot observe. We must, yes, agree with the scientific, method, but there's methods that go beyond the scientific method. And if we are going to claim that the truth of the universe is not science, what? Is it only faith? Yes. That takes us into grabbing hold of the truth? Yes. I have faith the rocket will launch. I have faith that the universe is here. And I'm not going to make up stories of wormholes that don't exist. In fact, the white hole, if you want to know, is the inside of a black hole. So you never can traverse through it, because it then goes back down to this quantum foundation. And it's the darkness, the emptiness, there's no time, there's no particles. And that's not in our real universe. This would be at the core of every black hole, which I believe all black holes are equivalent, other than the event horizon various mass ejections because of the quantities of absorption and desorption. But it's got nothing to do with the base, the foundation. The foundation remains the same. And our universe is singular. And that's how it works. That's why time flows forward. So here I have, this is a revolution in understanding. It mandates that we see this quantum foundation for what it is. And it's not isolated. It's across, and that might be the dark energy that we have been missing because of the quantum foundation that exists at the base of every single black hole, or even at the edge of the universe as light came to be, because darkness really doesn't exist. It's a theoretical concept, but it is real, because it was light that created darkness. Light came first and then came darkness. So the quantum foundation is theoretical, and we need to have this construct in space-time that's going to give us answers to bring us the clarity. And I thank you for getting this far in the video if you have. This is only a beginning for the echoes of the truths that I believe I hold in my heart. And I'd like to share them with you. Again, thank you for viewing this. May all of our works continue in life to grow and find a higher strength of truth and clarity. If you want to read down below, you're welcome. Let's see if I got another hit. Let's button it. Yeah, light came first. That's the simplicity of it. I thank you for coming today. Check out some of my other work, because there's going to come a point where we're all going to run out of time. Because we exist at the smallest point, but we also exist at the largest point. And in fact, in between these 2 points exists our universe. It's the simplicity of it all, the positive infinity and the negative infinity. And we exist down here at negative infinity all around us. Every single point is a dimension, infinite amount of dimensions in front of us. I know string theory wants to make up all these, models up to what, 10, 11, fantasizing out, we live in 2 dimensions, in and out. And I hope to make this clearer one day. I look for support. I have no supporters. And, it'd be amazed, that if one day the acknowledgement came through that I could actually find pats on the back to move the thoughts I have forward with the resolve that I know is true. Thank you for coming. Have a great afternoon or evening or whenever it may be. Let us go forward and help those in our lives.